And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylic.
Well, you guys, hi, this is Ginger. If you don't see my picture that normally you see that, it's because we are doing some fast 10-minute videos to put out on the YouTube just as sort of an experiment while we're on vacation. John and I, hopefully when you're watching this, are enjoying some artistic photographs and getting some new inspiration from a trip to Alaska. That's where we are while you're watching this. Now, I had perused this painting, this photograph on Paint My Photo, and I liked it because we have this gradated sky. And if you'll notice, there is a video, we'll see the link above there, where I show you how to do a sky like this, all right? Really in detail, a desert scene and a nice tree. And I thought this would be something we could do. What we're using for this is a little 6x8 canvas. And what I do, and you can see my little box of paints here. This is all neat and organized. Aren't you guys impressed? We use something called Paramount. It's a Paramount canvas. These are real canvases, not paper. I'm seeing people use something called, they'll buy paper and it says good for all mediums. Well, you know what? It isn't. And a lot of times you try to do it and your paint absorbs into the paper and nothing works and you think somehow you're screwing up and it's not you. It's your surface. And I really like this. If you can't find these in your area, you get these on Jerry's Artorama. And I've seen them as low as for 10 sheets, $2.50 a tablet when they put them on sale. These are great for practice before you start something big. And I would suggest you just buy a yard of canvas that's pre-gessoed. They sell it by the roll in most art stores. Just buy a yard and cut it up to some good sizes that you can use for practice. That's the key. So this is what one looks like all by itself. And what we do, you'll see this is an old palette from yesterday. And what John likes to do, for me, instead of throwing out all the extra paint, we'll go ahead and just kind of cover these canvases. And what I'm painting on now, this is a piece of plastic with some double stick tape, and I'm just going to put this down on here, and it's not going to move on me. Okay? Isn't that cool? You probably use a piece of card. I like the plastic because you can just keep painting on it. All right? So now this is just an old. We're using, this is palette paper. That's a wax palette paper. For small things, you can even use a styrofoam plate. You don't need to do that. So the first thing I've got is I'm going to put out a horizon line. I'm going to draw it in. I recommend everybody get a T-square. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I would appreciate you do so now. We notice when we don't go live, our subscribers go down, and we don't understand that, but that we appreciate. If you like us and you want to, it's like voting for us, please make sure that you're, and sometimes, if you haven't looked at us for a while, then your subscription is, sometimes you think you're subscribed and you're not. This is our horizon line, which has to be straight in this photograph, and you don't want it, it's about, about 3 fingers down from the top of the 6x8, all right? That's where our sky is going to be. So I think one thing I'm going to do is just put in my desert while I can before I risk messing up my sky. I'm going to put a piece of paper over here like that, just like that, and hold that. I'm going to take a toothbrush, and I'm going to get some burnt umber, okay? And then I'm going to get maybe some yellow oxide, probably be a good one to get, right? Okay. A little bit of yellow, and you're going, what on earth is she doing? This is kind of fun. If you haven't done this toothpick business, this is very good. And I'm going to get a little bit of, this is what they call fluid acrylics. They have as much pigment in them as regular, and they're nice for certain things. That we're going to do that. Now I'm going to take a little water mister, and I'm going to just spray these paints like this. I'm just going to do this with my toothbrush. Now the trick with this is you want to practice on something like that. See, like this. Now I'm going to just spray using the finger. See how I'm just taking my finger and very fast spraying over the canvas. This is kind of like a cheap man's airbrush. Okay, you can also do like this, like that. Just spray that on there like this. Okay. Now you can do, this is good for beach sand, all kinds of stuff. This is a great trick, right? We're just saying these are some pebbles in here like that. And I like my thumb. Now a lot of people do not like to get their fingers dirty like this. This really upsets them. And some years ago, a lady was selling something, a piece of screen that was glued to a tongue depressor, like a wooden popsicle stick, and she'd take the brush and rub it across the screen and got that effect. And I'm kind of sorry I didn't buy it, but she wanted 20 bucks. I didn't think it was worth 20 bucks. Okay, and so I didn't get it. Now I'm going to rinse that toothbrush out, and that toothbrush should be damp, by the way. I'm going to dry this, and then I'm going to put the yellow on, okay? So I'm going to dry this real quick. Let's see, I have a hairdryer somewhere. Here it is. And we'll just kind of tone this down. You ready? Incidentally, you should do this flat. You really want to do this flat because it could run on you conceivably. Okay, so I'm going to kind of tap the toothbrush off. Now we're going to do the same thing with the white and the yellow. Tap, tap, tap. Now we're going to put this over here. This is our shield. And here's the bit of yellow desert stuff here, like that. There's some sort of yellow, more yellow plants back here like that. Oh, and you're going, what a great trick. This is great for ocean waves, all kinds of stuff. You should, and it's, everybody says, what kind of toothbrush? Kind of a, they're cheap anymore, just buy a few and see which ones you like. And I've been amazed at the number of people who find doing this toothbrush thing really difficult. Now let's try this one more time, okay? One more time, we're going to dry that, all right? I'm going to just move this paper away. Well, I still want to save this, all right? I'm going to dry this. Now I want you to kind of look at my picture again. See how I've got sort of that desert scene? Isn't that kind of cool? Now I could do this actually one more time, and I'll tell you why. I could do this one more time. This is sort of, come on, you're having fun, aren't you? This is, you're going, gosh, I never knew you could do this, Ginger. How cool is that? I know. So let's take some Cad Red Medium and some yellow and do the same thing. Just do it one more time with some brighter colors in the front. Okay? Now here's an interesting, oh man, what did you just do? Oh look, see? Oh gosh, wish I hadn't done that. Well, here's a Kleenex, I'll wipe that off. All right, gosh, got that all over the yellow. Now I'll be confused about what's what. Ugh, messy, messy. I've got to get out my tub of towels any second now and fix stuff. All right, so there we go. There's that. Now I want to do it one more time. Here's the toothbrush. Now, if you don't, this is fine. We're having a straight line here. I want mostly the brighter orange in the front. So I'm going to do this with the water. I'm going to have it sort of damp here. You want it sort of damp. There you go. Tap it off. Now, I want this really bright in front. I'm going to take this down here like this and really get some bright colors in front. See what I'm doing? There, so I've got really bright colors up here. Wow, I know a lot of people, this just does it for them, and they can't. Here's a few little more back here. Let's just try this like this. Tap it off on a rag. Just a few back here, but just really up here. And if you stay in one place, if you don't move it, then you can kind of have some little areas that are more dense than others, okay? So, all right, there we go. Now, you're going, yeah, but I don't want the mess. Yeah, me neither. So let me just show you. Just pull that up there like that. But we've got that's pretty. Now what we want to do, I want to take my happy little tub of towels thing, these guys. For years, I've been using these since last August, and one of our Academy members wrote them and said, Ginger uses these all the time. She loves them. And they sent me a case of them and says, just talk about them once in a while. We'll send you some more. And I thought that was fair because I was going to talk about them anyway. But I have to say that they did, you know, I thought that was sweet. And when our live shows, we've got some samples to be part of our giveaway contest that we do. And so probably in the live shows, when you see a live show, you want to, we'll be sending some out. Let's see what they do. And then one of our members says, let them dry, and then you can re-wet them again, and they still work. I don't know. Mine are just usually, I mean, mine are so shot by the time I get through cleaning up my hands. I don't know that I would bother, but anyhow, all right, so we got to dry this, all right? So we're going to dry that. Ready? And I've got a little tiny fleck of, did you see this? This is a little tiny bit too much paint, and I'm just going to take that off because that's never going to dry. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to take some artist tape, okay? And I'm just going to put it right on here like this, just to save that. All right, now the next color that we want to use is we want to do a gradated sky. So we're going to do a combination of phthalo blue and ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue, red shade if you're buying Liquitex, phthalo blue, green shade if you're buying Liquitex. Everybody else is just phthalo blue or ultramarine blue, okay? So what we want is a nice brush that we can use as a, you know, here's a good one. This is probably a number 8, a ruby satin silver brush, and it's bright brush, and it's about, look, it's about as wide as my fingernail. How's that? Half inch? Would you say that's John? Yeah. All right, so John's kind of helping us doing the editing here. So let's start with the ultramarine blue. I think that was this, wasn't it? What's this one? Wait a minute. I know I put all these out in order. Oh, I have 2 phthalos. I knew that wasn't right, John. I'm missing an ultramarine. Can you grab me an ultramarine, please? Well, I could put some red with that, probably make this work. But I think I put all my paints out and I put 2 phthalos out by mistake. I got so organized, I forgot what I was doing. How's that? Huh? I have purple, I just need ultramarine blue. You know, I really like the idea of putting the colors out in a box I was using. I just sort of screwed it up here. Well, that's okay. We're going to do a fast gradated sky as opposed to a slow gradated sky. Did you find it?
Yet, but...
Well, I've got a jar of it over here. I'll just use that. Let's just keep going because we don't have a lot of, I'm trying to keep these in kind of short. So here I've got some that I put in a jar. Well, I didn't put it in the jar. Matisse put it in the jar. But I have a jar of it. Okay. So, all right. So we'll start with that. Where'd the brush go? Here. All right. So a little ultramarine blue, tiny bit of white with it. All right. See all right, like that. Okay. And now I'm going to come on the top of this like this, right across here like this. Across from the top of this. And there's quite a bit. My brush is slightly damp, but that's all. Just slightly damp. Here's this. Now I'm going to take a little bit more white, and I'm going to move down underneath it like this. Like that. Do you see what I'm doing? Move down underneath it. And then what you do is you come back and forth on this like this. Now don't go up too far. Then rinse your brush. And then overlap these 2 lines like that. Just overlap those 2 lines and just sort of, you know, so that you've got a gradation. And make sure I've got this covered this way. Now we're going to go into the phthalo blue, all right, and white, because we want it more of a turquoise color here, right like this. And we're going to come up this way, and we're going to say there's our turquoise color. Again, we're going to just sort of overlap these 2. Let's see, I don't know. I guess I had some yellow on that. Didn't mean to. It doesn't matter. It makes it sort of interesting. Pull that up here. Okay. All right, so we're going to overlap these 2 like that. Now I'm going to just go straight white down here as I get down toward the tape on the bottom. just pure white, little tiny bit of phthalo with it maybe. Here we go. So this is our, go all the way across and lift, go all the way across and lift. And as you get down to the very bottom, just down in here, I want it whiter. Okay, so now I'm going to wipe the brush and just sort of, just very gently kind of blend that all out. Okay, that's our gradated sky that we wanted to put in here, like that. I think that's kind of nice. I still like this phthalo stuff here, a little bit more in here, like that. There we go. All right, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to take the tape off, and look what a nice sky we have here. And I'm just going to take the brush and kind of erase that right there. Clean that line up a bit. Okay. Now before we finish this, I'm going to take a small brush. I was going to dry it, but I want to show you something. We're going to take a small brush and some purple, Dazzling purple, and a bit of burnt umber, and we're going to just come back here on this horizon line and maybe a little more raw umber. Make sort of a, we're going to say that back here, just on the back of this, there's just something in the background here. So we don't just have a straight line here. We needed to kind of make sure that we had a good line for our, protect our foreground, but we didn't want to do more than that. Now our next step, after we do this, okay, while I'm drawing this, I wanted to show you stuff. This has to dry. I wanted to show you some stuff that's coming up. One of the things that we're able to have happen on our live shows is that people are able to, we get a lot of people that appreciate what we're doing and the fact that we're buying our own art supplies and are often very generous and donate to our website when we're drawing next. John's going to show you how it's possible. If you feel like doing that, it's a nice thing to do. If you feel like it, well, I want you to know we really appreciate it. And these are a few of the YouTube lessons that are coming up soon. I think this is one, isn't it, John? This is how to paint a glass in a water and some garlic in a pot. I mean, isn't that cool? Isn't that beautiful? And I know some of you are going to look at that and say, wow, that's way beyond my experience, but watch the video anyway. You may find you learned something, all right? And then we've got another one, which I really, really like. This is one of our new YouTube lessons, and this is from one of our old dead artists. This is a gal, Mrs. Motts, and her dog, Shep, in the boat. I love that, don't you guys? Isn't that just cool? So those are some things that are coming up on our Art Academy, which is we do the little more advanced and bigger paintings as well as beginner art. We have, this is one that we're showing from one of originally done in the 1500s, and even with a fly. I mean, this artist, Ambrose Bouchard or something. Gosh, he was just, man was all about bugs. Good Lord, he had some with caterpillars in him. It's just totally creepy. But John thought that the fly added in that nice touch. And we have a butterfly. And isn't this wonderful? When you're wanting to learn, these are two different old dead artists. Everybody has a different way to approach glass. So we've got videos like that on our website, really wonderful things coming up. A new one that's coming up is our birds, our lovebirds. These are all, our Academy lessons are all probably more like the video I'm doing today, step by step, maybe 2 or 3 hours, but they're really wonderful. And you can watch over 375 videos on our website for just $9.95 for the whole week. I mean, that's less than the price of renting anything. I mean, really, whatever you can do in a week, or you can join us for a month, and by the month, and take your time and know that new videos are added, and we do offer personal art coaching, but there are some stipulations on that now because we're now putting people on a waiting list if it's after June 1st. All right, ready for this? I'm going to dry. For the art coaching, but not for being a member of the Academy. All right, ready? Now I want you to just kind of see what we've got so far. I mean, don't you think that's pretty? I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, just a toothbrush and some old paint and a few little bits of blue. Now, one of the things, and we're just going to get on our chalkboard here. One of the biggest challenges people have when they're painting a tree is they either want spaghetti limbs. They'll do this and that like it's grass, or they'll do this like that. Okay, but you've got to understand it's a pattern and it's crooked. It grows in stages like an old crook. Think of a crack on a sidewalk, and that your lines mean something. Okay, and eventually, even if the photograph, if you're copying a real tree in a picture, you know the trunk is always larger at the bottom. But if all the branches are going off this way, that would take your eye right off the camera, off the canvas. Okay, you don't want that. So what you have to do is make sure when you're drawing it, you put some going back. So just because it's in the photograph, we don't care. You still have to work on the design, all right? So this is we're going to start bringing some branches back this way, all right? Kind of see what I'm doing? So now, let's, I'm not going to, I might just, I think I'll draw them out. I have a brown Posca pen here. I'm just going to draw them out and then paint this in. I think I want to start. Now, in this photograph, the photographer took it dead smack in the middle, which is, a little weird, right? So let's move it over a little bit to one side, okay? I'll just start it right about here, not dead smack in the middle. Let's see if I can. When you have these Posca pens, they're P-O-S-C-A, and they make a darker brown. I just don't happen to have one. Wish I did, but I don't. Here we go. Listen, so you have to pump them because otherwise they can do that and take paint all over. Okay, so I'm going to start it right about here, and I'm going to come up into my sky like this, and I'm going to remember, I want it crooked, right? So I'm just going to kind of do a skeleton. Maybe I'll do the white. I think I'll do white so I can see it. How's that? Because I can't see the brown. That's not helping me. All right, so I'm going to say, here's my tree like this, and again, you've got to shake them for a good minute, right? And when they're new, you should burp them before you do this, and always shake any kind of painting pen with the cap on, or you can find paint being shot all over your studio too. Okay, here we go. All right, so here we go. I'm going to just say there's my old dead tree. Okay, like that. And here I'm going to have it branch out over this way, maybe come down and then up. And maybe I'll have this one come this way and up. And I think I know this branch is going to be thicker here, and it's going to get thinner. They get thinner, right? And maybe this one's going to go up this way. I just need a general kind of outline of what it's going to do. Maybe I've got one coming up this way. Okay, like this. And once you have the tree for an outline, then you're not stuck doing whatever that was. You still can do your own thing. Does that make sense? You just, and I want this tree to be just a little bit bigger than I made it. Maybe I'll put some tree roots here in here like that, come in here like that, and then do smaller branches, all right? So we'll do something like that. Now, I'm going to take a very small angle brush and some burnt umber and maybe a little purple and a little bit of water on the on my canvas like that. Purple and burnt umber, I think, is what I want. Maybe I'll put a little blue in it too. I want a nice dark color. All right, now here, let's just show you what you can do. Just kind of wipe off your brush the excess paint. Now I'm just using this little 1/4-inch angle brush. And again, this is a perfect little brush for doing something like this, because you can do these small little tree roots like this, okay, and keep these kind of level, and you can make the corner. And I'm just going to paint right over the white. I don't care about the white that much. And if you start to lose, if it's not painting anymore, in other words, if it's not painting anymore, go get more paint, wet your brush. All right, so we're going to say this is coming up here like this, and it's going to, you just got to remember to keep making it crooked. Every few minutes, just change the direction of of the branch, okay? If you have to turn your picture upside down to do it, harder you push, the fatter the line. I've got a very good video on YouTube called Can Your Brush Do That? And if your brush can't do that, one of the people say, well, where do you buy these? I mean, a lot of companies sell ruby satin silver brushes. This is the 1/4 inch short handled brush. Okay, let's start making this a little thicker right here. And I really like this brush a lot, and you can just do so much with it. So to me, one of the most versatile brushes. The Brush Guys, called thebrushguys.com. If you use my name, Ginger Cook, all one word, they will do a 5% discount. And I talk about them. They don't sponsor any videos or anything, but I talk about them because they give you and me a fair price. I mean, I talk about everybody that I like. You know me. You've seen me do that. And I mean, I can count the people on my hand, maybe that have ever offered anything in return for this. And somebody just said, well, as much as you advertise, they ought to. Well, you know, ought to and does is a whole different thing, isn't it? So, you know, that's why we so appreciate when somebody goes over, you know, to our website and will donate, you know, in our, what am I calling that, John? I'm thinking about painting leaves, and I'm got our scholarship fund. And we scholarship people on our website, all kinds of people, and we do it through you for donations like you too, because of course, you know, these are, somebody said the other day, I can't believe it, I subscribe to your channel, do I have to pay for a traceable? Well, in the first place, that doesn't mean diddly squat. You know, once you subscribe, I don't know who's subscribed, I just know the numbers. I mean, I could go back and look. So, I mean, that, you know, that would not be particularly a big help, okay? But the other thing is that if you go to Pinterest, Ginger Cook Live on Pinterest, you know, you have the pictures. Look in the lesson library, look in the YouTube, this year's YouTube stuff, and you'll see, you know, a printout of what it is. Just open new tab and print it out. It's not particularly tricky. Okay, I think I want this a little bit longer here. And we're just going to add a few more. Now, you could take your time and add a lot more branches than I think I will do for this video. But you just keep going, and they get thinner as they go out. And just very gently do the, let's see, we take a little, you know, do the branches. Now I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and Cad Red Medium, a little bit of this white color. I think I have some white over here. Kind of tap that off, and I'll just put a little bit of this, let's see, I think I want less white here. Just put a little bit of this color on this tree too. Might not make it so dark. There we go. Okay, so I've got this tree. Now, what can we do here with the rest of it? Well, we can start putting in some stuff that's growing here. Just using the angle brush now. Now look what I'm doing here. I'm just using the brush as an angle, just kind of making some, gonna put a nice big bush in here like that over here in this corner. And then I'll come back with my Posca pen probably and finish off some of these branches to get the idea of how you might paint this. Now, wherever there's a light, there's a dark, so maybe I want some lighter bushes up here like this. Like this. And let's see, remember, the smaller things are in the background, the farther you get away, the smaller things are. So these bushes in the background are real teeny. You don't need to do a lot. You know, we're just suggesting this is some sort of desert scene, and we've got these long. I think I'm going to just do these long tree roots that are coming out, keep them kind of flat. You know, I'm going to put a few more branches up this way. Okay. And we'll add, I think I'll take a little bit of yellow and yellow oxide and ultramarine blue, make sort of a kind of a forest green here. And let's just put a little bit of green here. That's too bright. We want to keep these all in kind of desert colors, more in the gold, kind of orange gold colors. So let's do a little bit more of this. Okay, let's say that there's some green stuff growing here, a little bit of up here like that. We're just going to tap a bit of this kind of fauna on here, and as we go back further, the colors get grayer and kind of flatter. Okay, so let's see, what else could we do here that would make this? Let's see, we want to come down here like this and make this plant right here, and make that darker here at the bottom. And let's see, I think they've got in this picture, I think I'm going to change this because they've got the light coming from the other side. We get a little bit of some dark in here. I'm going to darken this tree up again and do it from this way. And let's see, what did I discover about that, looking at that tree when I'm staring at it? All right, so what did I decide I know about that tree? What I decided is I want this to come down here a little bit more than I've got it. So to fix that, all I have to do is just wet that and bring this in like that. Bring my picture in and my blue sky in. Okay, like that, and I can bring that in here. I just wanted to have a little bit more crack in the tree than I had. See, I'm going to put a little bit more of this white out because I used that up. I want a little bit lighter between the tree here, like that. You know, right like that. We'll dry that and just kind of make that work. So I thought it would be better if the tree looked a little more split than I had it. And this is what I love about acrylics, is you can go back and, you know, do those things. So John, let me just dry this for a second while I'm making these repairs, then I can fix it, okay? You got anything you want to share with people? Huh?
I didn't mic myself up.
Okay, we're going to just...
Go.
All right, so I'm just going to fix that tree a little bit. Just put the blue back in here. See? All is fixed. Isn't that interesting? And I want to take this and bring a branch down this way and back up this way too. I think we needed another branch here. We're going to do that. Like, yay. I'm going to say this is a little bit, this tree is kind of going to grow on us and get a little bit bigger right here. Okay? Because I want it to be about the tree. I just didn't want that tree dead center. So again, you need a little patience doing the, like the little leaves and stuff, little branches. And so let me just, well, I'm doing nothing but repairing this tree. Look at that. Okay, so hang on, let me dry this. See? I mean, you can literally, let's see, let's just put this over here like that for a minute. Just kind of get this out of the way. And I think I have a color called raw umber. I'm going to put that out. That's a transparent brown. And what we want to do with that is we're going to just add some shadows under our plants like this, and say that there's some shadows coming this way. Okay. On our tree. Like that. Maybe put some a little bit of shadows under there like that. And Okay, so I'm gonna, that was purple. I wanted raw umber, but that's okay. That'll still work. Just wipe it off. Okay, so now I'm gonna ancient this tree a little bit. Let's get this, let's age this tree a little bit, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it sideways. Let's say that there's my orange paint. I'm seeing the lights coming from this side, so I want it, just going to tap that on there. Like this. And then for the rest of it, I'm going to do just what I suggested you guys do. I'm going to use this Posca pen and put in some more branches like that. Use that for my highlight. Don't be afraid not to let it cross over. And just, you don't have to push hard. These are really easy to use. This will dry. If you do something you don't like, they will wash off. And wipe them off. You've got a shot of wiping them off really quick. All right, really quick. You can wipe these off. Okay, you guys. So here's a little. All right. So now I might come next to a couple with some paint if I want to, because I've already got them, so I could just touch a couple in a few places with some dark paint on. This is sort of an interesting trick. You don't have to do much. You can just touch a couple here and there. All right. Okay, so now if I was going to do, all right, so we've got a gradated sky and we've got this tree. Just I think it's kind of way cool. And I'm going to just darken this up here like this. Just come back and pull that down there like this. Here's our tree roots. I'm going to pull them here like this. Maybe we've got a few crossing over this way. Tree roots, often what's underneath the ground is what is kind of mimicked on top, with trees. I've got some water there I didn't want. So I'm going to say that that's all of this right there, like that. There's this old dead tree. And then for some of this, what I want is a little bit brighter in the front, right? So we're just going to come in here like this and tap in some brighter color in the front. To bring your eye forward, a little bit brighter orange. I want something, I had it sort of, could have done a little more toothbrushing in here too, but I want it a little bit brighter in the front. Just a little bit here, so it brings your eye forward. A little bit brighter yellow too, just a little bit of brighter dots of color in the front. Just, yeah, could you put something else in this picture or something like that? I mean, yeah, you could, right? Absolutely, you could. You absolutely could put something more in this picture. You could put some little branches in this thing if you wanted. Let's just say that there's some little nice branches coming up out of these little scraggly things too, right? But you don't have to. You can just sit there and say, here's another little plant I'm going to put right here. And again, we've got little stuff coming out across the desert, going back, little tiny bits, and it gets smaller as it goes back. And again, we're not talking about it that much. Maybe we'll make this a little brighter right here. Now I'm just going to use this brush and tap some lighter color on here. See, wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So if you tap in, you've got your basic desert stuff going here, right? So then if you'll come back and just clean the brush because I've had dark on it. If you'll come back and start playing with your lights and darks, that's all you're doing, right? Play with your lights and darks and brighten something up again. That's what I'm doing here. I'm going to brighten this up. I want it brighter in the front. We need a little color surprise up here, you guys. So I'm going to just brighten this up all up here like that. A few little dots of paint. A few little. Actually, a rag is better to wipe your brush on than a piece of paper. Here's a few little dots of this. A little dot more of that. Okay, so I think we're going to pretty much call it done. Just almost done here with this. This was really just sort of supposed to be a fast little tutorial on how to use, you know, the toothbrush and how to do a little desert scene. And oh, we got to do something about the little white branches too. So let's just take a minute. And I always have these projects I think I can do so quickly, and then I can't. Then I end up not doing them so quickly. Let's change brushes. I'm going to try this dagger brush. See what I've got here. Okay. This is a new brush I've discovered from, and I'm really kind of liking these, and I want to see if I could get some. Oh yeah, look at that. Why was I ever doing anything else? If I had like about 4 hours, I could really do some branches on here too, very skinny ones. Okay. You don't want to do chalk, you know, to draw the chalk on here, the branches on with chalk, because the reason you don't want to do that is because it's very hard to do thin lines over chalk. The chalk just like trying to paint on sand. So, but you can barely touch it and do these little tiny lines. And again, it just depends on how much patience you have. I think I'm going to have a few birds up here flying like that in the background. I'll just put a little dark over some of these little Posca pen lines. And then decide which, you know, you really got to decide which branch comes in front of which. Then you got to decide that. So probably, this is I think I want to do, still I want to do a little bit of this gold on this trunk. You know what? I just really like regular white paint. That flow stuff is fine for thin lines, but when I'm trying to, you know, actually do something with a highlight or something, I want the actual acrylic, the heavy body acrylic. It makes, to me, I have so much more control of that than just want a little bit of a light, you know, in here like that. Just something a little bit lighter on top of that. Okay, so here. There we go. It's coming along. It's taking me a minute. A little bit longer than I wanted, but it's taking me a minute. Now I'm going to do something here. I'm going to just take it like this. You guys ready for that? Just take it like that. And take that toothbrush again. Don't use a paper anymore because you'll get a straight line. Okay? I'm going to come up here like this, and I'm going to just paint over that one more time. Put my stuff back over it. Let me dry it real quick. All right, then let me come back over it with some light paint. A little bit of water on the brush, not that much, tap it off. Well, lighter up here, you can put that there. Want a little bit of orange. Here's some, use up the rest of this paint. Okay, let's see how we got. That's pretty good. All right, so I'm going to just dry that real quick. Yeah, I want to just take this off of here because it's so messy that you can't really see what you've got with that. I can see better what my picture is now if I take it away from that back piece. Okay, here's fine. Get all this stuff out of the way. Get that out of the way. Get this out of the way. Here we go. Now, I don't know. I think that's kind of nice. It just, when I look at stuff like that, I still want to see the lights and the dark. So I'm still tempted to do something else just to play with the lights and darks. And this is where these 10-minute paintings get into 20, 30 minutes. And, you know, I intend to do a 10-minute painting, but then I'm going to lighten up something up here. Maybe do a few little light dots here on this plant. Okay. A couple little tiny ones back here, but make them smaller. You know, so this is, you know, it is kind of fun because when you think about it, we're just, let's see, I'm just keeping it to a pretty minimum color palette. And yet, we're, let's see, I want a little bit of white up here with yellow. Here, maybe we've got some little tiny light flowers up here on this one. Desert flowers, you know, did you know that they don't bloom all the time? You could go to the desert 4 or 5 years and then one year they're all blooming, and sometimes in California they've got this one kind of flower that only blooms every 10 years or something. And there's some that only bloom every 20. I mean, there's some cactus flowers that only bloom literally once in a blue moon. Okay? I want you to see how small I'm keeping the dots, right? And so if I'm saying, now someone would ask me, could you use a fan brush on this? I think so. I think you could use a fan brush. You absolutely could. I think you could use a fan brush. You also can, you know, you don't have to have it all toothbrushy either. You can have some little, you know, kind of areas of brush strokes where you want the light to go. Where you can kind of play with that a bit and say, I want something a little lighter right here. Maybe this is coming in front of that one, like that. I want a hard line right here. It just feels like it isn't, right? You know, if you wanted to do something really weird, you could have a hangman's noose like out of that, or a buzzard. That'd be a good one too. Have a buzzard sitting up there in the tree. That'd be good, huh? That would be really. I want that other brush for that. I think we're pretty good though. I'd say I'm almost done with this. I've had a little bit of fun with that, and I hope you did too. And just you know, this is a good one, and look how easy I'm able to do these tiny lines with this dagger brush. This is a Bristol-on 1/4 inch dagger brush, and it's just really, I just found these a couple weeks ago, and I'm not that they haven't been around forever. I just had never used them. I wasn't really sure what you did with them, quite frankly. really, I wasn't sure at all what you did with them. And now, I mean, now I'm going, oh my gosh, these are so cool. Just lots of little branches. And again, you could do a few more. Just don't have them running off have them all kind of heading back toward the center. That's the key here. Okay, and remember your tree gets bigger as it, as it toward the bottom and thinner toward the top. And if you kind of keep those rules in mind, you should be okay. Just bring these off of here like that. Just pull this. Lights and darks. It's all about wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So if you don't have one, stick one. And, would you want? I think so. I think we're pretty good, but part of me wants to do something else. Here we go. What can I do with this? A little bit of, again, I'm trying to bring some light in the front here. This would be softer as it went back. All right, so we're going to keep that fairly easy. Where did the rest of this go? Where did I put where did the picture? All right, so there's kind of what we started with. And there's our picture. And you see how we did the gradated sky. And again, could you put, maybe an animal or something here? Yeah, you could. Absolutely. Could you do so? I wouldn't get too, I try to keep it kind of simple. And, for me, that would be the ideal goal, would be to keep it kind of simple. And if you need to come back here and lighten something, just do a few dots like this. That's how you use a toothbrush, you guys, to create a desert. Okay? I'm signing it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you had fun with this and you like these ones, we invite you to subscribe to our channel and also to join us at our website, gingercooklive.gallery, for more exciting videos on how to paint with acrylics, all kinds of things that are important to know. Red slash to the name. Okay, so I think that actually came out pretty good, John. I'm kind of happy with that. And I hope you guys were too, and hope you all had fun with that. And we're going to say adios till tomorrow, or whenever we upload another one. Did you stop it?
No, my computer has now decided it's thinking. Now I'm going to stop it.
I'm a student, I say with glee,
It's like 3
of
hours,
Ginger
or something?
Cook's Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.